750 years before Jesus rode in on the donkey, 10 tribes were exiled for serving other gods. But it was actually the remnant of them that were Jesus' first followers. So his first followers came from Galilee, which is going to be in this region, Naphtali, Zebulun, and Issachar. So this is Galilee. And then we have Samaria, which would be like Manasseh, Ephraim in that region, right? The Samaritan woman at the well descended from Jacob. It says so in the Bible. And therefore, she actually descended from Joseph, so either Manasseh or Ephraim. So the well is right here. This is where Jacob's well is, just outside the Shechem. But this, when Jesus rode in on the donkey, he wept when he came outside the city because he expected them to know the timing of his arrival. You see here, because you did not know the time of your visitation. And they should have known. As too should a lot of you know that he's coming, he's at the door because he said, "Hello, I'm coming," which means he's currently weeping over the fact that y'all not keeping watch. Jesus tells the Samaritan woman at the well, "I that speak unto thee am he." So he's saying, I'm the guy you've been waiting for. Didn't take her long to figure out that he wasn't making it up. She goes out and draws people to him, but she goes and gets the Samaritans. She goes to her people and says, "Is this not the Christ?" So she's drawing more Samaritans to Jesus, so more descendants of Joseph, Israelites. "Come see a man which told me all things that ever I did. Is not this the Christ?" Then they went out of the city and came unto him. And his first followers were Galileans, his disciples, likely a remnant of Naphtali, Zebulun, Issachar, the ones that were following him. So despite the fact that the original 10 tribes were exiled, either they went out because they were taken out by the Assyrians and came back, ended up with a mix of maybe some Assyrian or something like that, but still descendants of Jacob. So Jesus' first followers were actually Gentile Israelites, technically. Now, what's interesting about that is that the ones in Judea who stayed there until 70 AD mostly rejected him. Those are the ones who went into Babylon. And those are the ones that are very stubborn even to this day. We got the Benjamites, the Levites. Now, the Judah descendants, are they stubborn? Maybe. Like, I know they ended up in Spain and Northern Africa and stuff like that, but ended up being perhaps some Mizrahi Jews, and then a lot of them are Catholic to this day. But definitely the Benjamites and the Levites who end up in the Ashkenazi. You get it? And those are the ones who are currently living in Israel. But what's even more interesting is the fact that the 10 tribes who vacated long before Jesus rode in on the donkey ended up in the majority of us. So we're the ones, the bride of Christ, the church, descendants of the 10 tribes, who had no qualms with accepting Jesus as a Messiah, because they knew, despite the fact that they went out and served other gods and were sinning like crazy, they still knew and they could still recognize when the Messiah arrived. But the ones who were following what the Pharisees and the Sadducees said were the ones that were rejecting him.